in anti-mobility, what the way would she compare the common 3 or 4 variations she might
Leaning forward.
Sorry?
Leaning forward?
Yeah, leaning
Front
forward.
fold.
Yeah, so leaning forward.
And then again, you're just going to mobilise it directly down towards the floor.
You don't want any rotation coming from the hips. So you're going to block the hips, take them back, you don't have any more dorsiflexion range. And the external rotation of the foot, it's very small movement. You don't want this to happen like from here. So with my hands, I'm just rolling it in, blocking it in, full available. It's all completely a passive test. So taking into full available dorsiflexion, metatarsalgia, Morton's neuroma, intermetatarsal bursitis, all these things. So what's the difference? What's the difference between intermetatarsal bursitis and
With the web of your hand, place it over the talus, take it into slight dorsiflexion, and then that traction needs to be there again. Keep that traction, and then it's almost like you're pulling the foot over the talus.
Actively dorsiflex and then over pressure.
And what sort of things you found useful so far?
Some of the tests, it was nice to know some of the sort of well evidence-based tests, the gold standard test, the navicular drop especially has been very useful for me today, and the STAR test was very good, and so I'm going to go back and use them. And yeah, definitely well worth coming along, especially if you certainly, if I say, need a bit of refreshment in the ankle area, and also learning a little bit more about tendinopathy and under the up-to-date information we have about tendinopathy and the correct way to rehabilitate.
What I'm doing with my plantar fascia patients, I get a lot of. Have been quite insightful. Some of the talk about the structure of the rehab for not just tendons but also medial tibial stress syndrome, which I hadn't thought much about in the past, are going to be quite helpful. I think really probably of all the courses I've done, this is the one that I could take on Monday, if I were working Monday, which I'm not, and use something straight away. I think what's quite nice about the manual therapy, even though we had an osteopath and a physio, there was no wizardry, it was all very simple. These are the ways that we move these joints, but if you understand the concept of which bones move where in dorsiflexion, plantarflexion, then you can go and do your own thing. So yeah, it's definitely usable.
Area that I feel like I'm less clinically experienced in. Sometimes when foot and ankle patients come through, I feel like perhaps I'm a little bit nervous of my clinical reasoning and perhaps sort of continue to sway towards certain treatment techniques, and I really just wanted to improve my understanding and focused. And actually it was really, really refreshing to have that kind of the sort of playing between the exercise bias treatment and also looking at the manual therapy, which is something that perhaps I haven't been doing quite as much of. So being confident with my joint mobilisations of the foot and ankle.
You deal your foot and ankle from now on?
Absolutely, because I think also it's been made quite simplistic today, so I almost feel like I've got a really nice kind of structured, logical assessment that I can look at one part of the foot, and then if I can't find the problem there, then I feel like I can then confidently go on to the next bit of the foot. So I feel like I've got quite a smooth kind of idea of how to clinically reason through what the problem is. So if I don't find it in one place, I can look into there. Is that nothing that we learned today was completely new? Nothing was completely alien to me in terms of the subjects that you talked about, and actually it was really, really good to build on the level of knowledge that you had. But also, if you didn't have a sort of huge underlying level of knowledge, I think it was easy to kind of grasp onto the concepts you were talking about and really learn and sort of build on whatever level of knowledge you had from that.